I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I want to talk about the sun. Everything you need to know about the sun when you're looking at its placement in a chart. First of all, the sun is Karaka of the Father, and the sun is the source of light in a chart because, as you well know, in our solar system, we all revolve around the sun. So the sun's placement in a chart is of great importance. It is where the spirit is. I see the spirit as fire. The sun is fiery. It's a fiery influence, as you well know, looking at the sun. And when you try to look at the sun, you can't because it's too bright. Therefore, wherever the sun is in a chart will be truly bright, sometimes too bright. And remember, if the sun is too close to planets, it can burn them, which is called combustion. So planets too close to the sun are combust the sun, and those planets will lose a certain degree of their energy. But looking at what the sun is Karaka for, Karaka simply means indicator of. It represents the Father, first of all. It can represent your spirit, your fire, your determination in life, and it can definitely reveal many things about the personality. In terms of being a Karaka, it represents, in mundane astrology, presidents, kings, rulers, CEOs. It is that bright force that gives leadership. The sun, it rules Leo. So Leo is the sign that when the sun is in Leo, it's extremely strong. Therefore, it represents leadership and power. So it has the same qualities as the sign Leo: leadership, standing out, being bright, being the king. Another thing about the sun is when you have it in the 10th house, this is its strongest placement. It's called Digbala, and this is the place where the sun really shines. And if you consider, if you were born around noon, this means that the sun will be in the 10th house, somewhere around the 10th house. And I always think in terms of around noontime, the sun casts no shadows. So this is its brightest position, and it does wonders for career opportunities, leadership, but standing out with the social standing, having power and control in the career or purpose and how you appear to the world. You appear as the bright one. So looking at the sun, let's talk about some of the things that it can rule in terms of the physical body. When it comes to the physical body, the sun rules the heart energy. And I often think of the sign Leo as representing the heart, being loyal, being warm-hearted. That's what the sun can really be about. So it also rules the eyesight, and most specifically the right eye. So it can deal with problems with the heart or a strong heart. It can deal with blindness. And the other thing that the sun will do, now this isn't always true, but if you have the sun in the first house, it can sometimes burn the scalp because the first house will deal with the head. And many times people with the sun in the first house can be prone to baldness. Now remember, there's other variables at hand. It's not always the case. So the sun, in terms of the body, is representative of our inspiration. Now, how we are inspired, because I think of fire signs, which Leo is a fire sign, dealing with creativity, what we create and how we express ourselves. This will be relative to the sun as well. Now, the day of the week that the sun rules, of course, is Sunday. And many people who want to pay homage to the sun will wear the color for the sun, which is a bright red-orange on Sundays. Now, the gemstone that is associated with the sun is the ruby, the bright red ruby, precious gemstone. Now, I know I said that the sun rules Leo, but the other signs that it does incredibly well in is going to be, first of all, its exaltation sign. And the sun is most powerful in the sign of Aries, because this is a fire sign and it picks up strength and it is so determined. So the sun is exalted in Aries, therefore it is debilitated in Libra. So it loses its strength in the sign of Libra. Some other things to remember about the sun is if you have the sun in the 5th house, you're prone to have male children. Particularly the firstborn could be a male. And sometimes they say the sun in the 5th house can limit children, but not always. Another thing is if you have the sun in the 7th house, recognize that the marriage partner, the spouse, may be over the top, incredibly strong, and can be egotistical. Because remember, wherever the sun goes, it is so bright that it burns a hole in that house. And when the houses represent people, it will represent an over-dominating personality. So in the 7th house, remember, if you have the sun in the 7th house, you are going to have to stand back and let your partner shine, because the sun shines so brightly. They must be the center of attention. If you have the sun in the 3rd house, it could represent that your brothers or sisters are dominant and overbearing. If you have the sun in the 1st house, it can mean that sometimes you can be a little self-consumed. You got to watch that. And another thing, if the sun is in the 6th house, this is an Upachaya house, it can create a strong, robust health and constitution. So the sun in the 2nd house can burn a hole in the pocket, and sometimes financially there's not enough money, but depending on the house it rules, it could bring in money. So don't get too obsessed with that. The sun in the 4th house can represent the mother being overbearing and dominant. If the sun is in the 8th house, this can weaken an individual, causing some kind of stress on the physical body. Because remember this, many times I have looked to the sun to determine the constitution for someone, because the sun is our vitality, our strength, and depending on what house it goes into will represent the strength and vitality. So in the 3rd, the 6th, and the 11th and the 10th, the sun brings out great vitality, the Upachaya houses. And if you have the sun in the 8th house, it can drain the vitality and energy. So the sun in the 9th may mean a very dominant, overbearing, at times, father. Sun in the 10th is primo, that's the best, career takes off. Sun in the 11th, domineering friends, but primarily you will have male friends of the male sex. And the sun in the 12th could mean some visits or connections to foreign people, foreign lands, but at the same time, this could drain the energy as well. So with that, I hope that you have a better understanding of the Graha, Surya, which is the sun. And if you would like more information, remember you can always go to my website, galacticcenter.org. And if you're serious about learning Vedic astrology, go to my university, University of Vedic Astrology.com. Thank you.